Hello, it's Friday the 1st of December and I've been having a few thoughts and about some observations I've had lately with boxing matches I've been watching. Because I watch boxing matches most weeks, if I can find one. I just noticed, firstly with Misfits, it can be quite competitive. You know, there's not much quality in a lot of fights with the Misfits, but they, at least there's some competitive fights there. Now the state that boxing's going, a lot of the fights you get, the undercards lately, it's like one-sided. You get one prospect against just journeyman who, it's just, who's going to win. It's not really a competitive fight. I don't enjoy fights like that really. It's just like, I'll turn it off and come try the next fight when the next fight comes on. You find a few competitive ones, but for Misfits, some of them's good, but the quality isn't very good. But the observations I've noticed recently, it seems to be like creeping into the sport a bit, is the tactics these amateurs are using, because they're not trained boxers, they're not very skilled at the sport, they're not so good at moving in and out, head movement, dodging punches, and bad habits are creeping in, they're not being trained properly. So, if you look into it, with things like holding, clinching, amateurs are pretty much taught not to clinch. With amateur bouts, you have the referees breaking up clinches straight away and docking punched pretty quickly. If a fighter's come on the amateur circuit and he's trying to just hold a lot without being hurt, if they've been hurt and they're struggling in the fight, there's nothing wrong if you've just been hurt, you punched, you're wobbling a bit, and you're holding on to try and save yourself. No referee's going to dock the punch or give you warnings for that. That's a survival technique where referees will, let him hold a bit now, he's hurt, till you recover a bit. Always do that if you're hurt, definitely. But if you're just holding on as a tactic, then referees will step in. A good referee will step in, start to give warnings. He'll tell you, do that again when you duck the punch. You'll get a warning like that after you've had a few warnings, right? Next one, we duck the punch, he'll tell you. So, I've noticed it more with these Misfits fights, that there's been a few fights I've watched where they are holding. Well, obviously they haven't been through the amateur ranks, so they're doing it more. Okay. So, two cases in point there which I've noticed is Anthony Taylor. Don't remember the name of the person he fought, but it was the last fight he's had in the Misfits circuit, and the person he fought was much better than him. Odds-on favourite to win. No one gave Anthony Taylor a chance. I like Anthony Taylor, so I often support the underdog, so I was hoping he'd do well. I was hoping come on, have a good fight, Anthony, come on, go for it. And the technique he used was just charging in, throw flurry punches, and grab the other guy. Hold on, clinch. So he did that all fight. And the boxer, who was really skilled, couldn't box. He was prevented from boxing back. He did manage to box a bit, but Anthony Taylor clinched him so much, and the referee was letting him do it, he won the fight. Now, I knew it was unfair. I could see it was unfair, but I was happy he won, because I like to see him win. I might have put a bet on him as well, I think. But I knew it was wrong. Now the next one where I saw, which was even worse, which is diabolically worse, was the KSI versus Tommy Fury fight. So KSI, unbelievably bad boxer, terrible, no skills, no boxing techniques, not trained at all in the art of boxing, just doing star jumps, throwing sledgehammers, wild haymakers all over the place, and just clinching. So that's what he'd learnt. He'd studied Tommy Fury and knew this will smother Tommy Fury, and he won't be able to get his shots off on me. He won't be able to let his hands off because I'm going to be grabbing his arms with clinching him. And this was unbelievably excessive. It was in the same card that Anthony Taylor was on the undercard, and KSI and Tommy Fury were the main events. One of the main events. So, in the same night, I saw two fighters doing the same technique, basically, throwing a few shots and then grabbing their opponent and hugging them, clinching them. So, it's a concern that these misfits now are somehow getting other fighters, more professional fighters, to think, I could use that technique, I could get away with it. Referees seem to be letting it happen, so I'll give it a go. Well, obviously you know what I'm going to come to next. Katie Taylor versus Chantelle Cameron fight. So once again, with Katie Taylor, Chantelle Cameron in the first fight, Katie Taylor was trying to stand there and trade. She did it quite a lot, and I fair dues to her. I got to give her credit for that. She gave it a right go on that fight, and there was some headbutting, but it wasn't too excessive. But there was some. But she did give it a go with trying to box her. And she did give it a go, standing and trading a lot. But she got hurt doing it a lot as well. She suffered for what she tried to do. She was up against a bigger girl, and her tactic was to stand and trade a bit and try and box her. It didn't work. At the last 3 rounds of the first fight, she was having to hold on a lot. She had to, because she was hurt. It wasn't because she planned to do it. This is what my game plan is going to be. It was she had to be doing it. She was tired, exhausted, and hurt in that fight. So she was having to cling on. So in a way, that's more acceptable for me as a fan a boxing fan to watch that. I wouldn't say it was such a dirty fight. She's always going in with her head a bit. She's always going in with her head a bit. Usually, it's not so noticeable. It's not so obvious what she's doing. She'll go in with her head a bit and try and rub her head against the other opponent a bit. It's not over the top type of thing. But the second fight, Katie Taylor versus Chantelle Cameron number 2, that was unbelievable. That was on the KSI versus Tommy Fury level of clinching. It was maybe the first 3 rounds not so bad. For the first 3 rounds, apart from a knockdown, which, like I've said in previous videos, it was an obvious knockdown. She might have been a bit off balance, I'll give her that. So for people to be saying she got her feet tangled and it was a slip. She wasn't going to fall over if Chantelle Cameron hadn't punched her, whether it was just under the chin or the neck. Someone saying it was a punch in the neck. I'm not sure, but it was definitely the punch. Maybe she was slightly off balance that made her go over. It wasn't a heavy blow that hurt her and she was like wobbled or nothing. But she went down. And in the rules of boxing, that's a knockdown. That's 100% fact. And I will say, like, how many boxing experts have been shocked at saying that's not a knockdown. Like Eddie Hearn, well, he's a promoter, he's not a real boxing expert, because obviously he's shown that now, because he's saying, probably just sit, but he is saying that you could count it as a knockdown. So, you know, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. But, like, after the fight, he was coming out with that wasn't a knockdown. But he's changing it to you could see it as a knockdown. But no, most of the people I've watched on the internet and Twitter and all the professional boxers, it's probably about 95% are saying definite knockdown. But that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the tactics boxers seem to be starting to use now with the clinching technique. They throw a few punches off and then clinch technique, which is starting to come into the game. And it needs to be tightened up on. Referees need to get the memo that this isn't right. Because it should only be allowed, clinching should only be allowed if a boxer is in trouble. If they need to hang on, then it can be seen as not illegal. Once you're doing it as a tactic, a referee should be able to spot that they're using this as a tactic, and you should start giving warnings out. I'm highly suspicious of that referee with the Katie Taylor-Chantelle Cameron fight, because the way he conducted himself throughout the fight, ignoring the knockdown, ignoring the headbutts, which I won't go into that again. I have in my other fights that very excessive headbutts from Katie Taylor, coming in from 2 feet. People are saying, well, Chantelle Cameron was coming in. No, if you look at it, there was like 3 really bad ones from Katie Taylor. She's coming in about 2 feet. Chantelle Cameron might be coming in 4 or 6 inches. When she's doing a movement, coming in, when she's moving towards her, which was natural movement. She wasn't like doing headbutts like that. They're trying to say she was, no. But anyway, that's my observations, which I'd just like to talk about tonight. A little video. A couple of other things I was thinking about. I was looking at Chantelle Cameron's performance. How she fought Katie Taylor from the first fight to the second fight. And it was to keep going forward. Keep going forward at her. Keep putting the pressure on. Overwhelming her. And it worked in the first fight. But she tried to do the same technique in the second fight, where Katie Taylor had worked out that I can never beat, well, that's what she was thinking to herself. She was thinking, I can never beat Chantelle Cameron if I fought the way I tried in the first fight. So I'm going to have to try little flurries, headbutts where I can, here and there, and holding on to her after I've done flurries or after I've done headbutts. Hold her, grapple her, make sure she can't touch me with a punch. Make sure she can't throw her hands. So she nullified her. And that's another thing that's annoying me, is these so-called experts, which, you know, I'm always think they talk sense normally, but saying how great Katie Taylor was at nullifying Chantelle Cameron, how Eddie Hearn saying how experienced she was to be holding on like she did and nullify her type of thing. They're trying to change the rules of boxing, these people, the way they're talking. That wasn't good boxing. She was hanging on there because she knew she was going to get hurt, especially the last few rounds of the second fight. She was struggling and she was having to hold on to Chantelle, or she'd have been really hurt. She may have been probably knocked out if she'd tried and fought properly. No, she had to hold on. So that's annoying me a bit. Why the praise of Katie Taylor for doing something that wasn't good? It wasn't good. It wasn't good fighting. But you know when Anthony Taylor did it, because I like him, I didn't think so badly of it. But my sensible head, he was completely wrong to do that. So if you have a fighter who's your favourite fighter, who you want to win, somehow we all do it. We let them get away with it. We brush that under the carpet. We turn a blind eye to that. We pretend it was good. We pretend it was experience. We pretend it was okay. We pretend it was just nullifying. But in fact, the obvious truth is it was wrong. And you need to be able to admit, like I admit, Anthony Taylor was wrong to do that. Even though I was glad he won. And I probably won something in the bet I made. He was wrong to do it, and I can admit that. And Katie Taylor, people who were commentating and especially on the TV, that was the most biased commentating ever. But anyway, getting back to Chantelle Cameron, the way she fought. If she's going to go up against Katie Taylor again, she needs to change the way she fought against her. Not just go forward like she was. She needs to start doing a lot more leg movement, going in and out, getting a few shots off and getting back out quickly of the way to stop Katie Taylor butting her or grabbing her. Move in, throw a few shots off, get back out. Get away, move around the ring, make sure Katie Taylor can't grab you. Now, I've watched some of Chantelle Cameron's previous fights to see, as she always fought the way she did in the two Katie Taylor fights. No, she was moving in and out more. It was a lot more leg movement, a lot more dodging people's punches. I think she looks a lot better the way she was fighting there. So, if Chantelle Cameron ever gets to watch this, I doubt that she will, but look back over your old videos of your old fights and the way you was going in and out. I think if you fought like that against Katie Taylor, she wouldn't have no chance against you. At the end of the day, the art of not getting hit. Learn that, not learn it. Practice what you already know. And you've fought another fight like, and do it with Katie Taylor, you'd win easy. Make sure, get other fighters to copy the technique Katie Taylor uses, the grabbing technique. Train with them and become expert at stopping the fighter you're training with from grabbing you. Go in and out, move around the ring. You've got the beating of that girl 100%, 7 days in the week. All you've got to do is just get the fight plan right in the night. And hopefully you get a better referee on the night. And if we can get it back to the UK, at the end of the day, Katie Taylor is getting on. She's slowing down a bit. And you're still in your prime. You've still got a good few years left. So Eddie Hearn might be treating her like his golden goose egg. But that's not going to last forever. Don't underestimate your potential worth. You can sell out easily in the UK. You get a big name fight like Serrano or one of the other big female ones and get a good undercard. You can sell out quite easily as well. Okay, that's my tonight's rant. Like and subscribe and comment. Good or bad, I don't mind. Thanks for watching. Bye.